Bonjour tout le monde! We're going to talk about le passé du conditionnel, which is the past conditional. If you remember, we've already learned the conditional tense, which is used when we're talking about events that would happen if another event. So now we're going to talk about the passé du conditionnel, which is talking about events that would have happened in the past if something else had happened or had not happened. But these events have not at all happened. So first we're going to look at the conjugation. It's a two-part conjugation, so it's a compound tense, like many of the others that we've learned, like the plus que parfait, and the passé du subjonctif, and the passé composé. Two-part conjugation. The first is the conditional conjugation of the auxiliaire. If we remember, we can have two auxiliaires in French. One is avoir, the other is être. And then we have our participe passé. Here's an example of how one would conjugate a verb in the passé du conditionnel. We have manger is going to be our verb. If you remember, manger is a regular ER verb, and it uses avoir as the conditionnel because it's not a Van der Champ verb. So you'll see that for our conjugations, we would have j'aurais for the auxiliaire in the je form. Remember that if you're actually writing this out, you need to contract the je and the aurait. For tu, we would have tu aurais. Il, elle, aurait, nous aurions, vous auriez, and elle aurait. Okay? So that's our auxiliaire, and the second half is our participe passé. So for manger, because it's a regular ER verb, we would drop the ER and add an E accent aigu. So you see, we would have j'aurais mangé, I would have eaten. Tu aurais mangé, you would have eaten. Il, elle, on aurait mangé, he, she, or one would have eaten. Nous aurions mangé, we would have eaten. Vous auriez mangé, y'all would have eaten. Il, elle aurait mangé, they would have eaten. Here's an example with être instead of avoir for arriver, which is a Van der Champ verb. We would say je serais arrivé, and if you're a woman, you would have to add an I. I would have arrived. Tu serais arrivé, you would have arrived. And remember, if we're talking about the you being a woman, we would add an I. Il, elle, on serait arrivé. He, she, or one would have arrived. And if we have elle as our subject, we add an I. Nous serions arrivés. We would have arrived. Make sure you always have that S at the end of arrivé because we have multiple people when we're talking about nous. Vous seriez arrivés. You would have arrived or y'all would have arrived, depending on if the you is formal or if we're talking about y'all, multiple people. And depending on the gender of the one person that you're talking to or the multiple people that you're talking to, you need to add E, ES, or S. And then il, elle seraient arrivés. They would have arrived. Remember, if you have a group of women, you add an ES. And if you have a group of men, you just have an S, or a group of both men and women just have an S. Just follows the same rules as our Van der Champ verbs. All right, uses of le passé du conditionnel. The passé du conditionnel implies that things would have been different if certain other things had not happened. And it's really important to remember that with the passé du conditionnel, the action never happened. It has not happened yet. Okay, and it will not have ever happened because it could have happened if this or that, but it didn't end up happening. That's the conditional past. Some examples that we can see. Elle aurait mangé si elle avait de la nourriture. She would have eaten if she had some food, but she didn't have any food, so she didn't eat. Elle aurait mangé, she would have eaten. And then our conditional action, she would have eaten if she had food. So you know that it didn't happen, but she would have if she did have food. Il aurait acheté la bague s'il n'était trop avare. He would have bought the ring if he wasn't too selfish and greedy. See, he didn't buy it because he is greedy, so he would have bought it if he wasn't so greedy. Nous serions entrés la salle si elle n'était pas fermée. Okay, we would have entered the classroom if it had not been closed. But it was closed, so we didn't enter it, but we would have if it hadn't been closed. And that's it. Make sure you've got these in your notes, and we'll go over it tomorrow. À bientôt!